Hi viewers, welcome to my channel. This is Antony Vijay. Today we are going to see about looping in Python programming. When I talk about looping, it is used to repeat the same task again and again for n number of times. The value of n will be differ from different user. It may be 10 or 100 or 500. Okay, so let's see the explanation of looping in Python. So first of all, I am going to create a vehicle list equal to, so I am using square brackets. This is the notation for list. So inside that I just going to mention some of the brands of vehicle. I am start with TVS, then Yamaha, then Hero, Honda, Bajaj, and finally Suzuki. Okay, so these are the brands I have added in the vehicle list. Here I will be having 6 elements in vehicle list. Now I am going to print all the elements one by one. Now I am not going to use for loop. So without for loop, let's see how to print these elements. So the procedure is you have to print like this, print off. You have to mention the list name, and using a square bracket we have to mention the index value. It starts with 0. So likewise you have to repeat for 6 elements. Okay, this is for first element. Okay, the index value for 0 is TVS, and I just copy paste like this. Okay, okay, 6. Okay, now in the place of 0 I just replace with 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5. We are starting with the 0 and ends with the 5. This is the index value. So this is the only way without for loop we are printing the elements. Let's see the outcome. So we are getting the output, but this is not efficient because the number of lines we are using is much heavy, and at the same time here we are just using only 6 brands. In case if the branches are more, for example I am talking about vegetables. If I have 500 varieties, so this much printf statement is it's waste of time. In order to avoid this type of errors and problems, we are supposed to go for loop. So in for loop we will be going to use just 2 lines of code. It will reduce all the problems. Let's see how to use for loop. Okay, so if you want to use for loop, you have to use a keyword for. It's a keyword, or you can say it as a reserved word, and next to it you have to mention the user defined variable. I am using X, so you can use I, J or Y, Z, whatever you can use, no problem. Then I supposed to use in. In is a keyword to access the vehicle list. Okay, then you have to mention the list name. At the end you have to mention the colon symbol. This is a syntax for loop. This is enhanced for loop. Here we are not going to initialize any value like I equal to 0, I plus plus, condition and all, nothing will be there. This is the enhanced one. Okay, so in the next line you are using print statement. In the print statement I am using the user defined variable X. Here X is a variable that will access all the elements one by one. For the first iteration it will access TVS and then it will print. Then it will access Yamaha, after that it will print. Then Hero, then Honda, then Bajaj, and finally it will print Suzuki. This is what going to happen here. Let's see the outcome of it. So instead of mentioning lot of lines, we are mentioning just 2 lines. That's all. We are getting answer. See, we are getting the whole list. Okay, this is what called as looping statement, especially for loop. So here we are keep one thing in mind. In the third line I just mentioned the printf just right side of for loop. Okay, this is the syntax. If I go near to for, okay, what will happen? It will give you indentation error. Indentation error. This is mean it's like a spacing error. You have to give the space properly. It means if you give one space to the print statement, okay, the problem will be solved. That's all. Okay, it means if you are going to use for loop, you have to mention whatever statement inside the for loop, you have to give right side of it. This is the procedure. Don't put in the straight. Okay, if you put straight, it means it is the statements are outside of the for loop. Just keep in mind. Okay, this is what called as indentation. Okay, so in for loop there is no curly braces like for blocks, only we are following indentation. This is what called as for loop. So the next loop is while loop. So while loop is we are using the classic style only. So let's see how to use. So here we are mentioning I equal to 0. We have to initialize a variable. You can use I or j, whatever you can use. You have to start. Then I just going to use while. Okay, while is a keyword. As I told for same thing have to follow here also. Then you have to mention the condition I less than. You have to count the number of elements in the list. In order to count the number of elements, there is a predefined function, that is len. Len means what? It's a short form of length. So length is used to count the number of elements in the vehicle list. So length of, if I mention like this, length of vehicle, it will count how many number of elements. Okay, so this is the condition, and at the end, as usual, you have to mention the colon symbol that you have to follow and put enter. As I told, you have to mention any statements that's supposed to be right side of looping. Okay, either if you are using for loop or while loop, whatever looping you are using, you supposed to mention little bit right to it. Okay, then only you will avoid indentation error. So here I just going to print the elements. So print of, I am using I. So print of, I am using vehicle of I. Okay, if I mention like this, what will happen? Initially the value of I will be 0. In the while condition we will be checking I means what? 0. 0 less than length of vehicle. It will count the vehicles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it will check 6. So 0 less than 6. Condition is true. So in the print statement, vehicle of 0 is what? Only TVS. So TVS only printing. What about the other elements? In order to print other elements, we have to use the increment operator, that is I equal to I plus 1. Okay, if you mention like this, it will take care of all the elements. Every time, for every iteration, I will be incremented. So first it will print TVS, then Yamaha, then Hero, then Honda, Bajaj, and finally Suzuki. This is the order it will print. Let's see the outcome of it. See the same result what we have got in for loop. So this is what looping statements. So guys, for Python we are mostly using this for loop and while loop. So make use of it. And guys, if you are having any queries in this topic, just mention in the comment box. And at the same time, if you want to take any new topic, just mention it. I will take in the upcoming session. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for regular updates. Thank you very much for watching.